to wear this for our date tonight, and this afterwards for dessert. Cute, right? They're very cute, your name, though that isn't the word I'd use for the second one, but your date with who? Did you send that message to the wrong chat? Nope, I didn't. Then your date with who? Bokuto? Trust me, I would remember if I was taking your name out. Kurobro? Unfortunately, no. That just leaves Yoshijima. It isn't me. You're all right and wrong. I don't know who. I'm confused. Same. I guess I'll know when whichever one of you gets here first. Oh, I see. And if more than one of us gets there at the same time, then I guess it's going to be a wild night. And if we all get there at the same time, you're capable of sharing, correct? On occasion, if I must. Sharing is caring. Your name, you're serious. Better get driving. The captains are offline. All 7 captains pull up to your name's house. Your name looked out of her living room window as she heard what sounded like tires screeching to a stop. Her eyes widened at the sight before her. She knew they had questioned what would happen if they all made it at the same time, but she hadn't thought it would actually happen. Though she had to be honest, she didn't mind much. There was just something about those men, and your name knew she shouldn't have. Knew that 90% of people would tell her she was being greedy or promiscuous, but from the first time she laid eyes on them, she wanted them. It was unfair, really. At first, she tried to tell herself that shooting her shot at one of them would work for her. She could date one, forget about the others, and everything would work out fine. However, that had not been the case, simply because she realized she didn't like any of them more than the others. So, the little devil on her shoulder had told her to message their group chat. If some turned her down, then she felt she could deal with their rejection. However, the fact that all of them had shown up had her heart beating overtime. Your name watched as Bokuto and Kuru got out of the latter's car. Daichi stepped out of his next, Yoshijima getting out of his passenger side. She wasn't surprised to see Terashima and Oikawa getting out of the former's car. They'd struck up quite the friendship since they'd all finished high school years ago. Kiddo was the last to step out of his car, and she took them in. It had to be a crime for a group of men to look that good. The knock that came on her door had her taking a deep breath. She looked herself over in the outfit that she'd sent them a picture of before making her way to the front door. When she opened it, 7 sets of eyes took her in. I'd just like to say that Oikawa and I were first, Terashima spoke, and it caused Kuru to snort. You were not, he shot back. He then turned his attention back to her. If we're being honest, baby girl, we all pretty much got here at the same time, Kuru informed her with a smirk. I hate to admit it, but he's telling the truth, Kiddo informed her. I have a proposal that I think everyone could agree with, Terashima spoke again. How about we skip the date and get straight to dessert? He smirked at her, licking his lips. No, Yoshijima spoke. Your name wants us to take her out. That's what we're doing. She watched as Daichi, Bokuto, and Kida nodded in agreement. She was more than sure that Kuru and Oikawa wanted to agree with Terashima. Honestly, she probably wouldn't have minded skipping to dessert. She'd been fantasizing about it for the duration of their friendship, several years. She rolled her eyes at herself. Clearly, she was down bad. Let's go inside, Daichi spoke. No need to draw attention to ourselves on the front porch. We'll figure out the date situation, and then we'll go. Your name stepped aside, letting them in. It wasn't the first time that any of them had been at her house. It also wasn't the first time that all of them had been there at once. It was, in fact, the first time they'd all been there with her, alone. Deciding that she needed to get away from them and slow her beating heart, she told them that she was going to go into the kitchen and pour some tea that she made a few minutes after she texted them, asking them if they wanted a cup as well. They all declined. While in the kitchen, she tried to listen in on what they were saying, what they were coming up with. She wasn't sure what sort of date they could go on that all 8 of them would enjoy. She figured that they would break into pairs or something to make it easier, to draw less attention to them. Her name felt hands on her waist and lips against her ear. She hadn't heard anyone enter the kitchen. We've got it figured out, Vixen, Oikawa spoke, turning her to face him. He took the teacup out of her hand, placing it on the countertop. He placed his index finger under her chin, tipping her head back. Leaning down, he brushed his lips against hers gently, squeezing her waist. It's a damn shame I have to wait. With that, he took her hand and led her out of the kitchen. We're taking you to the carnival, Bokuto told her excitedly, and your name couldn't help but smile back. That sounds like fun, she told him. We'll make sure of it, Kodo responded. I'm riding with Bo and I. Why the two of you? Terashima questioned. Because I said it first, Kodo shot back with a smirk. Bokuto draped his arm over her shoulders, leading her out of the house, while Kida grabbed her keys, locking the door behind them. Renee was looking forward to this date, to spending time with all of them.